Are you gonna throw some kids into that?
Soon.
Soon?
Yeah.
How soon?
Well, we said we're gonna wait a year, so about a month away. So once,
You're a month away from trying to have a kid?
yeah,
So you haven't been trying?
we've been practicing.
So welcome to the podcast. We have Aaron Reina, right? Aaron.
Yep.
So I'm glad you're on the show. I think you kind of newly married, 1 year, 2 years. What? How long?
1 year. It's
1
gonna be
year.
a year.
Do you guys have kids?
No.
No
Not
kids.
yet.
So married, no kids. Inspiring leader, right? AZ up and comer.
Yes, sir.
I think so, right?
Yep.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, man.
Man, I'm super excited. So we this thing's kind of high. So we made a decision to start interviewing young leaders, not necessarily in age, but like in spirit, like whether it's a young entrepreneur just starting a company. They could be 50 years old just starting a company. They're still young entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
Or the next leader, the next person, man or woman that wants to grow and take that next leap, like coming out of college, maybe working for a company, maybe taking over a company, leading the family's company, whatever it is, that's that leader, right? So this is cool because you're part of this now. So I'm glad you're here, and let's get after it.
Let's do it.
So you were a youth pastor. You're no longer a youth pastor. You were a worship leader. You're also a drummer. You're a really good drummer. He's for hire, guys, but you got to go through me. So you have a bachelor's in entrepreneurship at Grand Canyon University. My daughter's taking that class. I made her take it. I think she's starting to like it. Maybe you can help her.
Yeah.
So Gigi, the one that sings,
Okay.
she's taking that exact class. So Lena, the older one's taking business management,
Okay.
and Gigi's taking worship arts and entrepreneurship.
Nice.
So she's gonna get ready to do a project.
Yeah. I remember.
I think you can help her with that.
Let me know.
So and then you help run your family's business, Colados Coffee shop, crepe shop.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Coffee and crepes.
Coffee and crepes. Man, it's really good. Right here, Colados. Look at that.
Commercial.
Get you some.
White toffee.
It's really good, actually. Let me see. There's your logo, huh? Right there.
Yeah.
So you're at the shop, you go to church, you drum, you're married, you're pretty busy.
Trying not to.
Are you gonna throw some kids into that?
Soon.
Soon?
Yeah.
How soon?
Well, we said we're gonna wait a year, so about a month away. So once,
You're a month away from trying to have a kid?
yeah,
So you haven't been trying?
we've been practicing. Yeah, we want to enjoy our marriage, so we said we'll wait a year and then travel a little bit.
Yeah.
So we got one more trip we're waiting on, and then after that, we'll see.
Where are you traveling to?
We're going to Europe.
Okay. Yeah, get that stuff because the kids, it's a lot of responsibility.
I hear.
I mean, you see it, and the thing with having children is they're a blessing. You know, have more than one, have 2, 3, 7, 2 or 3. But with the responsibility comes the price tag, right?
Yeah.
People don't think about it when they start popping out kids. It's like, I got to take care of this kid. One thing to take care of them. And it's one thing to support them. It's another thing to do it both, right? And so that means you got to kind of give up stuff.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So start doing stuff now because you know, I mean, you don't have to give up everything. You just got to work harder.
Right.
That's the truth. Some people give up stuff. There is times you got to give up something. Like you're like supposed to do this. You got to go to the school thing and, you know, stuff like that. But some people give up like their whole lives because they have the kids and now they can't afford nothing. Right. But I just say just like work twice as hard or twice as smart, however that looks.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to afford it all. Yeah. Like nothing. All those 17 kids you guys are going to have, just throw a budget to that and keep working.
Yeah, I'm going to have to start working for you, man. We'll
No,
have 17.
listen,
I'm going to need an extra job.
You don't want to work for me. You want to work for yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You're a leader, up and comer, right?
Yes,
so you're working at the shop, and what does that look like?
So I do marketing I'm a marketing manager, so comes down to like creating content and getting the word out. You know, social media. I do graphics, so as far as like menus, photo shoots, trying to create a team now that's more independent, not just kind of relying on me. So that's been taking some time, but you know, in the end, my goal is just to be the creative director and just kind of like get the team together. So I've been doing this for 10 years almost with, you know, Colados, and I got to a point where I was kind of like burned out, like doing, you know, how many new posts and new things can you do? You know, after a while, it just gets a little tiring. So I'm learning to delegate a little bit, and, you know, having, you know, we have somebody who comes once a month and we do like a big project. You know, we rented a car last month, like an old vintage car. We hired 2 models. We had a photographer, and it was just like crazy photo shoot. So each time we do something like that, we try to make it better. We had a tea week, which was an event. We had all teas for like $1, and we hired 4 models. We went down in Phoenix and did a big photo shoot for that too. So I was trying to learn and get better little by little, but for the most part, it's just focusing on, you know, marketing, and I also do a supervising. You know, we have two of my sisters and I. We have 3 locations, so each of us has a store, and we supervise and direct in case, you know, they need some help or something like that.
So put this. Try to keep this in front of your sandwich your face. And so your parents started the shop, right? And how many are there?
It's 5 of us total. My parents and my 2 other sisters.
And how many shops?
3.
So do you call them shops?
Shops, locations.
Locations.
Yeah.
So there's 3 locations. Where are they at?
Avondale, Goodyear, and then we have a new one in Phoenix.
That's cool. And then so you and your sisters are taking on the responsibilities of managing and growing these things.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
I love it, man. I love leading. We focus a lot on culture, growing our team, make sure they're, you know, being taken care of. We try to take good care of our team. You know, we provide even therapy for our leaders. We know leading can be kind of heavy sometimes, so that's been something that we provide for them. We close on Sundays so they can rest, and every quarter we bring in a guest speaker we call them gatherings. So we gather as all stores together, and then we gather just as leaders, and we just, you know, bring a speaker so they can grow and ask questions and learn something new. So, you know, it's an adventure where I was trying to do something new. I was trying to grow and change things up, but it's a cool experience to be able to see people grow.
Yeah. So culture, what is that like? What is the culture? What's the culture at Colados? And you said you're working on it. What's the current culture, or say a past culture?
Yeah.
And you guys are working on that consistently, because I think we always got to work on that stuff. What is the game plan, or what is like the thought process of where you guys are headed? Because maybe somebody's listening like, man, I need to build something, and you got the nugget.
For culture, we always base it off our mission. We sat down as a family when we turned 5, and we said, well, why are we open? You know, we can't be here every day to tell people why we're here. We need a mission statement. And we sat there for maybe a whole day, and we're like, what's the phrase? What's something we do? And my younger sister, Jay, she was like, I think it's to make their day. You know, yeah, we sell coffee, we sell crepes, and that's important. But something we noticed was that my mom used to go to table and just talk to them, to people. And man, their faces would be like, oh, your mom, where's your mom? You know, I remember her, she talked to me, or, you know, she said hi to my baby, or, you know, those memories were what people remembered. And we wanted to keep that going. So we came out with that phrase, and it was to make your day. So that's what we tell our team. Hey, have you made somebody's day today? And our goal as a leader is to make their day, our team's day. Yeah. How can we come in one day and, you know, provide an experience or make something memorable? If I know you like this team, or if I know you like this, how can I give you something that you're going to, you know, like only he knows, you know, creating those moments. I think that's what builds culture, and, you know, setting the example first so they can treat our guests with that same mindset. What
do you think for the other shops? And because, you know, some people just have really bad service and stuff, right? There's a lot of places. Like, what do you think they're missing? You know, is it, what are they doing wrong? You know, because someone's listening and they're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
It could be one thing, but like, you're working on it, but like, what are those things you see that's just being done completely wrong that shouldn't be done?
I remember a friend of mine, he used to work at In-N-Out. I think it's from In-N-Out. They said at every paycheck, they used to get a quote that said, don't forget who gave you this check, the customer. I think sometimes we have a wrong perspective, thinking like, you guys owe me something. You're coming in here. It's because I have something great. I don't have to give you anything. But if you think about it, if we don't have any guests coming in, people are not going to come back. So I think it's just that mentality that sometimes we have. It's where it's like, well, I already spent all this on my product. I already spent all this on my labor. Like people should just come just because of that. But I think, you know, you look at businesses like Chick-fil-A, which is a business that we admire and we're always trying to learn from them. You know, we have that hospitality. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize, that if you don't have that, that's the secret right there, you know, hospitality and excellence as well. So
hospitality. Yeah, I love it. You know, what's funny is our checks. So we do something similar, but Antonio, do you get the check stub? Have you ever read it? So you don't even pay attention. You know what it says? For I know the plans I have for you. Jeremiah 29:11. That's what it has on there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Plans to prosper.
Yeah. So, but like the fact, like, you know, so I like that you're doing that, because I think you're right. People, or what I see what happens, like you said, it's almost like that that mindset of well, we're already doing it. We already got a good burrito or a good burger or whatever. Like, whatever, bro. And it's not even about that. Like you said, it's the experience, the customer, make them feel good. Because I know when I go somewhere, or you or anyone, like, we want to feel good.
Right.
I don't even care about the food half the time. If like, and especially like, or the food can be amazing and the waiter sucks.
I go to a barbershop every single week. And the reason why I love it, the culture is just amazing, man. I walk in there and they know my name.
Yeah.
Usually you have to go and write, you know, hey, check in. I walk in there, hey, what's up, Aaron? Hey, Aaron. It makes me feel amazing, man. Like, your name is the sweetest name you can ever hear. So it's like, when you treat somebody like that, you recognize them, you know their order as they're walking in, people are going to keep coming back, because if they go somewhere else, they're going to be like a stranger. So those little things do make a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think as in life too, like, we think something's owed to us all the time. Most people, I'm saying we, not us, but not even us. No, I'm just kidding. But people in general think something's owed to them, and they forget about, like, it's our job to create the experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, so if we're getting too cocky or arrogant, we got to, like, tone it down a little bit. Yeah. Say, what is this really about? You know, it's about everyone else. You know?
That's what gets me up every day, man. That's the challenge. Like you said, every day is going to be different. You're never going to be done. It's like, how can we be better? How can we master our craft and just make it unique? Like, I just read the book called Unreasonable Hospitality, and it's
Who
a restaurant.
wrote that? That sounds familiar.
Will, I don't remember his last name. He's like
With a G?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a chef in New York, and he has this fancy restaurant, and he talks about a guy who came in and he offered them, you know, he overheard him talking about a hot dog that they never tried in New York. We've tried everything but a hot dog. And he came back and he got the hot dog from down the street, and their eyes were huge. You know, they sell this fancy food, but they brought a hot dog from down the street, and it was like, you know, it was a hospitality. So I think that's kind of what motivates me to get up and be like, how can we be different? How can we be better? How can we just make an experience that's, you know, and we have stories that we've heard of people coming in that are just like going through something, and we do something as simple as writing on their lid, and we just start crying, or they're, you know, changes their perspective. So
I love that. Are you going to show that book? I think you pull it up.
There it is. Super recommended, man. There's actually a show called Beef. I believe it's Beef. Yeah. And it comes out on that show, and it's about, you know, restaurants, stuff like that. So great book.
Yeah. I love it. So, all right. So you're leading that next generation, right? You're working with your family. You got your sisters, your parents. What's that like? You know, how old are you?
I'm 28.
So you're 28 years old. You've been doing this for 10 years. The company's been around 10 years now?
We're going to turn 10, yeah.
Yeah, so 10 years working for the family since you were 18. I mean, like, what's that like, you know, growing up in the business, watching your parents succeed, working your butt off? What's that like?
It's beautiful, man. That's the word I can describe it as. You know, working with family, they say it's the best thing and the worst thing you can do. But for us, we've just had a great experience. And I think that all comes down to our parents, you know, such amazing leaders. Like, like you said, when you become a parent, there's people who just sacrifice their whole life for their kids. That's literally them, man. Like everything they do has been for us. And I think that's the reason why we work for them. You know, it's like the least we can do. You know, when I used to live with my parents, I used to get up and we had coffee in our rooms. My dad would go to each room, drop off coffee for us. He still does it for our sisters. But those are the little things that you look at and they're just servant leaders. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they just always have us in their minds, and they're always trying to do the best for us. And I think that's what makes working together such a blessing.
Yeah, that's cool. I would never even think to do that. I'm like, bring me my coffee.
Where's my coffee?
Where's my coffee? I pay for everything. No, that's really cool though. You know, and that would, like you said, that makes it worth it. You know, the kids work with us, mm-hmm. Whether it's here or at the church. So I enjoy it. You know, as a parent, you know, I enjoy watching them learn. You know, there's always going to be those challenging times, and you did something wrong, or I did something wrong, or whatever. But it's like, what's the benefit of it? You know, and you know, I would say like, what your parents probably think the same way is, they want to expose you to the most as fast as possible, so you can learn, you know, fast and grow, and then leave something.
Yeah.
You know, because that's legacy. Like legacy is like leaving something for the next generation,
right? For
your children's children. And so it's cool that they're doing that. It's cool that you're a part of it. And I'm sure, you know, if you guys stick with the Colados, or whatever it is on your next journey, is you're going to involve your children because that happened to you.
Yep, exactly.
So you think families should work together like that?
If you can. I mean, no, every situation is different. Every family is raised different. But for us, it's worked out. You know, since I graduated high school, it was my first job, so it's all I've known, and it's just, it's truly something beautiful. We go out together, we eat, we were just on vacation this past weekend with my wife as well, and you know, it's just always a great time. So if you can get along, and you know, and know it's not always easy, but if you can manage that, I think it's totally worth it.
I think so. Have you ever had like cousins or uncles or aunts work in the shops?
Yeah, we have some family members.
Is that as successful?
Yeah.
They work out pretty good too. Do they still work there?
Yeah, they're working right now.
Okay. Yeah. It's I love the family aspect. Sometimes like some family members don't work out because you give them a shot. You kind of know it don't work out. You know, like you know, you want to help them. But I think for like an intermediate family like you guys, like us, it's a blessing,
right?
To be able to, like, for your parents, like, I'm sure they cry about this. I know it because I do, right? It's like to be able to give your children something that you've never had and do it with them, right? Like, there's nothing, and I tell the kids, like, the kids know this. And you're the same way. You are not going to learn the same things nowhere else. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
You can go work Starbucks, the best places in the world. I don't know, maybe not the best places in the world, but locally, you're not going to get it. You're just not, because you're just going to be an employee, which is cool. You'll be a good employee, but you're not going to learn the books, how to, you know, the register, the coffee, the
dealing
ordering,
with people,
everything, the people, like everything. You're learning every aspect of it, and you're learning it with multiple stores, right?
Yeah.
So,
it's a school, man. Well, even our manager, she's going to GCU as well. She was like, what we're doing right now, this is literally, we talked about this in class. I was like, well, there you go. I mean, you should pay us for teaching you.
Yeah. Yeah. The difference is they're just talking about it.
Right.
They're not actually doing it. Right. And so when you get to do it, and you're like, oh shoot, you know,
different.
Yeah, it's different. It's cool. It's cool. And you start to think, I would think, like, for you, is because you're managing a store, doing marketing, you start to think a little bit different than everyone else around you.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends, your you know, everyone around you.
Yeah.
Because you see something on another level, because you're exposed to it.
Yeah, I believe everybody should work in the food industry at least once, because you'll treat waiters and, you know, people who are giving you food a lot different. Because, you know, I've seen people yell at, you know, people who it wasn't even their fault. You know what I mean? Maybe it was in the kitchen or something like that. So it does teach you a lot of patience, you know, being to work in front of people and food and things like that. But I wouldn't trade it for anything else, man. It's a great experience to be around so many people. We build connections, we build a relationship with our guests, and it's something that, you know, we take outside of work as well. We get to sometimes we meet people who do, yards or people who do other stuff. And you're like, hey, man, can you do my house or something like that? So you really meet a lot of different people, different situations.
Yeah. You ever heard of Tillman Fertitta?
Mm-mm.
You should look him up.
The person?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he's the biggest restaurateur, a restaurant entrepreneur in the world.
Wow.
Tillman Fertitta. He's a cousin. He's a cousin to the Fertittas that own the UFC. You ever watch UFC?
No.
Okay, the fighting.
Oh.
Anyways, this guy's a billionaire. He owns the Houston Rockets.
Oh, wow.
But he has the most restaurants in the country. I think you would like him.
Yeah, I'll check him out.
Because you're in that same world. You like that. It's hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
So Tillman Fertitta. So building culture, marketing, the marketing, you're challenging yourself, you're building the culture, working with family. How's married life? Being like, newly married 1 year. What are, as a young adult, what's the blessings and what's the challenges? Because people want to know. Some people today, less people want to get married, and I don't know why. I think you should get married.
Yep.
I think you should get married, have kids, boys and girls, nothing else, no other genders, boys and girls. That's all there is two genders, guys, boys and girls. But what's that like?
Yeah, it's definitely, when they tell you like, hey, you don't know her, you don't know him until you get married.
Yeah.
But nobody ever told me you don't know yourself till you get married. So I guess I'm really picky. That's what I found out my first week in marriage. I didn't know I had like an odor problem. Like if something's really strong, like a smell, it just makes me go crazy. Like my wife, she cleaned or she mopped or something, and she put a lot of that like, fabuloso or whatever it was. And I was like, why is it so like the scent? And then she had a candle like on in the restroom, and it was just like a lot of stuff going on. So she's like, why are you like this? I was like, I don't know. Like I didn't know I had this problem. But it's been a challenge, It's been an adventure, I could say. But it's been great, man. I love her, and she's been amazing. And I think it all goes down to like the choosing, the right person, because she's been amazing. We did it for a long time, since high school.
Okay.
And I got to know her a little bit, more than I feel like people usually who don't date as long. So I've been able to enjoy this whole process, and it's been our first year, so everybody's like, you're still in the honeymoon stage. So I'm like, I hope this continues.
So you dated her over 10 years?
Yeah.
And you didn't know you had the smell problem?
No, didn't know.
So did you ever like spend a night with her or stay a weekend with her or anything like that?
No. Like we traveled with her family, but it wasn't like,
yeah,
she didn't turn any candles on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You weren't exposed to different things. Like she likes odor and smells, and you're like, this is too much for me.
No, it never occurred to her, not even at home. Like I never really, or maybe I did and I didn't really pay attention, but now I'm like, hey, I'll take care of all the smells and scents and stuff like that. So now every time she buys a perfume, she'll like smell it. Is it too strong? And I'm like, nah, that's good. Or I'll be like, just put one or two, sprays or something like that.
Does it give you an allergic reaction?
No, it's just like, I just like subtle stuff. I don't really like strong scents. Like I walk in a room or a restaurant, and like the first thing is like, I smell, if it smells bad or something, I'm like, what's going on? You know? So I don't know why I have that strong smell. I don't know if it's like allergical or something.
I'm the same way.
Yeah?
Yeah. Except fragrances will give me an allergic reaction.
Oh, really?
But I'll smell it from like
Dang.
a block away or something. Yeah. I'll walk in and like, say, even a mega church, I'll walk in, I'm like, oh my God, someone's got something like, and I'm trying to sniff from which way. And I'm like, it's over there. So I can't
like
go
a dog, just like trying to find.
Because I can't go that way.
Yeah.
Because I'll start breaking out like something, I'll get a headache and all kinds of
Do you
crazy.
work alone?
No. I have it. I don't wear it. Yeah, because the different things trigger me. If it doesn't give me an allergic reaction, like you said, it's an irritant.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this is really bad.
Yeah.
And I was the same way. I didn't know I had like, I've always had like allergies and stuff, but like certain irritants, like to smells and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't till I got married. Till I married Felicity. I was like, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what is that? Like I don't like that smell,
Yeah.
or because she does all the fragrance, everything, all that stuff. And
I think it comes down to communicating, man. Just like letting each other know. Like her bed that we got when we got married was her old bed, and that thing was rock solid, man. That thing was hard. And I was like, what the heck? Like, why do you sleep on this and shit? Like, it's good for my back and I love it. And I was like, I came from like a really, really soft bed. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to just put up with it. And now I got used to it. Like, I don't really mind it. But I think it's just communicating, like, you know, finding a good median, you know, thing that you can both agree in and be like, all right, well, you know, just fighting, you know, choosing your battles, like they say, you know, is this really worth it? Is it going to be a big deal? If not, just kind of let it go.
Do you ever fight and not choose the battle?
It depends. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm willing to just, all right, I feel like if I let it go, it's going to keep coming back, you know, type of thing. But if it's something simple, I'm just like, all right, I'm not even going to bring it up.
Do you ever sometimes like, screw it, let's just go at it?
Not a lot.
I'm just curious.
It's been like 1 or 2 times where we're like, all right, this is like, and it's usually like something really dumb. I can't even remember.
Like she bought vanilla instead of cinnamon? The smell? I'm just kidding.
No, not like that. I don't know. It's just like little things that just come up, and it's like miscommunication. Mm-hmm. And you know, I feel like I'm pretty good at trying to get her back to like, all right, calm down a little bit, or mess around with her. But I'm always joking around, man. I think that's what gets her mad, that I can't take anything serious. So we'll fight, and then I'll make a joke, and she's like, it's not funny. So I'll let it like simmer down a little bit, and then I'll bring a joke up again, and then she'll laugh a little bit, and then we're usually good.
So you get her mad with a joke, then make her back happy with the joke?
Yeah, exactly. That's a strategy.
Did she go to Grand Canyon University as well?
She did, yeah. But she did nursing.
Oh, okay. Does she do that now?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Ariana.
Oh, she's went to the church too, right? She's sang, right?
No, she didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, she went with me once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, you suggest getting married?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a blessing.
Right?
For sure.
Do you think she compliments who you are?
Absolutely. We're opposites, which you should. You know, I feel like a lot of people, I have friends and families who they haven't been married, and I see a lot of I feel like when you grow up as a family, that's one way to do it, right? But when I got married, I saw her family, the way she does things, and I'm like, well, you know, maybe there is another way that you can do things. Mm-hmm. So it really opens up your minds, and you're like, wow, you know, I have a cousin who he had a restaurant that he didn't like at all, and his family, like, where his, you know, brother loved it. Like, no, I'm never gonna go there. I don't like that place. He started dating, and he went to that restaurant. He loved it. So his brother got mad. You're like, experience. You see, man, you see. So sometimes we were so like close-minded because we grew up a certain way. But there's so many other ways to do it that I think it opens up your minds to be better, and you know, what better than, you know, your girlfriend or wife that to tell you like, hey, you need to work on. So I heard your spouse is a reflection of who you are. So it really, you know, shows your weaknesses, and it shows the areas where you can improve as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, so you're is she like hungry? Like you guys have the same drive and stuff like that?
No, she's more chill.
Yeah,
I'm the hungry one.
Yeah, that's okay.
I have a problem with you know, if we eat or something, we have to clean the dishes. Like we have to get it done. And she's more like, all right, let's take a break and then we'll do it. Mm-hmm. If you sit down on the couch, we're not going to get up. Like you got to do it now, because then you're going to get, you know, lazy, or you're going to be like, oh, we'll do it later. So I feel like I got a lot of my mom's genes. Like she's always like, she never watched TV. Like she was always like a go-getter. And my dad was like super chill, patient, and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm very like, I can't sit down. Like I'm an achiever. So I like to check off my stuff, you know, my to-do list. I like to get things done, and I feel like she's more of a chill. So at first it bothered me. I'm like, let's do our dishes now. And now I'm like, all right, I need to learn to chill a little bit. And I feel like she needs to learn to like pick it up a little bit. So sometimes I'll let it go, and I'll be like, all right, we'll do the dishes another day. Or when she goes to work, I'll do them. But I feel like it's just learning, you know, being self-aware a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Are you super organized?
Yeah.
Like, do you like in your cupboard, do you have everything labels facing you and stuff?
Yeah, color-coded. Try to iron sometimes. I try to keep everything, like, I wash my car at least once a week. Mm-hmm. And that's just how I'm programmed, and I have to, everything has to be like a certain way. I like to be in control. It's
good. We'll see how you are when you're a little older.
I'll probably slow down a little bit. I know for sure.
Actually, it just depends what part of life you're in. You know, I like things like in order too, but as you get like, as you get more successful, you'll start having more people do more things. Mm. That's all. You'll want the same thing. You just won't be doing it. Mm. You know what I mean? So I remember a big fight with my wife, like around the first time we got married. So I always wanted my cans, my boxes, all that like canned food stuff, the box food. Like the label had to be facing me, or at a certain angle so I can see them all if they're different ones.
Yeah.
And
Only lasted a week or what?
no, so I didn't grow up this way. I just was this way. And well, I was this way, not like family members or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. So when she moved in, she just started throwing stuff everywhere. You know what I mean? And that was like our first big fight. Was like, hey, keep this organized. Like, I want to see what I have.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't see it no
She's
more.
like, well, you do it.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was a huge fight. But like years later, we're here, like where we're at now. We've been married like 15 years, I think. Everything's kind of neat, organized. So
Yeah.
you know, so we got back to where I wanted to be.
Yeah. Eventually.
Right. Yeah. So I like things organized. I think it's good to be organized.
Oh yeah.
You know, because when you don't know what you have, it's chaos. Or like for home, you're gonna buy the same thing over and over. You're wasting money.
Right.
That happens everywhere in life. The more unorganized you are in life, like if you're unorganized in life, it'll show up somewhere, and when it shows up, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like those little things are what creeps up, and it becomes something big.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you're like super organized, and
Yeah.
because it says who you are, you're punctual, you know, and it's good to have your wife like the opposite, because she can calm you down when you're all stressed out, you're like,
Exactly.
and she's like, relax, let's just sit down.
Yep.
The dishes are there. They're
Yeah.
not going nowhere. We know they got to get washed.
Yeah. And that's why we need to get married, man. That's why I think God created, man and woman separate.
We're back together to that.
Yeah.
Man and women separate. Two
So
genders.
we need each other. Exactly.
You do. It's not like people say, well, they complete me. Well, they can't complete you. They complement you.
Exactly.
Right. Because God will complete you.
But if you don't understand that, I feel like you try to convince the other person to be like you. And then that's like, what's the point of having two of the same people? You need to have. So I feel like that's really a mistake that I was about to start making in the beginning. Like, hey, I want to wash the dishes. You got to come wash the dishes with me. Or we got to do this now. And then I kind of realized like, well, I can't change her. Then why am I going to be with her if I want to change her, you know?
Yeah. No, I think what you're saying is right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because I think more people need to get married today than ever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's just you should get married. You should have kids. You should want your kids to have kids. You know what I mean? And keep that legacy rolling. Yeah. You know, do you ever think about legacy and for not like with your family, your wife? Do you think about those things?
Yeah, I think I look up to my dad a lot because he's been a great example for me. So I've been blessed to have a great dad, and I think at the end of the day, he taught me the legacy of family. He takes family really, really important. That's his priority, and I think he taught me to go slow. We growing in the business, we had so many opportunities. People like trying to franchise, and we had a guy who wanted to open one in Florida. He was like, insisting like, I'll buy a franchise, I'll pay whatever it is. And he said no. And I was like, why would he say no? Like it's a free opportunity. Like he's going to pay everything. He's going to do everything. He's like, but if you think about it, I'm going to have to go check up on it. I'm going to have to leave you guys. And he even says it sometimes, like maybe I am thinking a little small, but maybe that'll be your role when you grow up, or your sisters, or maybe that'll be something that you guys have to do, like move, open up in California or do something like that. He's like, but right now, my priority is you guys. And I think it's been working out. He focuses a lot of attention on us, make sure we're doing okay, and we pour that out to our team as well. So I think at the end of the day, the legacy we leave is with our family as a priority, and then after that, everything is extra. So that brings in to me like, well, I'm trying to focus on my wife now that I'm married. Work is important. You need to get it done. But guess what? Tomorrow I'm gonna have more work either way. So I have to be very careful with that. Balancing that out. So.
Do you think about, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, how that looks?
I think it'll be the same, but bigger. We're going to be still focusing on our team, still focusing on growing. But it's also, we're still going to have the same, foundation, the same fundamentals, the same idea. It's just going to be at a different level. Like we just brought out a new app. That was big for us because we've been trying to do something like that for like a year. So
you guys created an app?
Yeah, we have an app where you can order ahead. We're working on a reward system on it, but it was a big accomplishment. But, it's always just trying to get a little better every time. We're getting our coffee bags printed we have bags right now with a sticker.
So you guys are cooking them, or what do you call it?
Roasting them.
Do you roast them?
No, we have a friend of
roaster?
ours who roasts it, and then we have another company. So we have 2 roasters.
But you're bagging it. You're gonna sell what's your name on it and stuff like that. That's cool.
We're selling it right now, but it's just we're putting a sticker on it. But we want to do a little bit more professional. And we're doing espresso beans now. We used to just have the house beans. So little things like that, I think in the next 5 years, it's just going to be growing. And we have our bags printed now, like our, where we put the crepes in.
Yeah, to go.
We had stickers. Yeah. It's just little things like that we're trying to get better at. And I think that's what, makes me feel like in 5 years, it's going to be easier in a way. Like hiring people now, we have a whole training guide that we did. It took us like 2 years to make. We have videos for it. We have a page that says how to cut strawberries, how to cut bananas, little things like that. And I think those really push us to just be better little by little.
Who comes up with those ideas at Colados?
It's the family. We get together, we're like, what do we need, what are the problems that we're having? Like that was one of them, the training. It's 3 of us right now, but imagine if we have 4 stores. We don't have 4 kids. My parents don't have 4 kids.
Now you got to trust somebody.
So we have to create a system. And that's where we came back to like, all right, let's record videos for like 2 weeks straight. After we closed, we recorded videos on how to make a coffee, how to make a crepe, how to take a food out to the table, how to call out a name when you have an order. And, we, as a family, we kind of delegated a little bit. One of our managers took some of that load because she loves doing that stuff. So she took pictures of everything and kind of like did it. And we just finalized it. We have a drink, how to make each drink, a recipe guide for that. So it's just less work it was a lot of work to make, but now that we have it, it's just like, all right, we'll just look at the reference. I don't have to show you, or it's just more practical.
I think it's really good. I think those little things will separate you guys apart for the years to come. You know what I mean? Because we went to some event and I ordered some coffee, a small company, it was in California. And they sent me the coffee. And it was like kind of not the most professional bagging and stuff like that, And I was like, man, they got a long ways to go. That's all I could think about is like, man.
Like coffee beans or like a coffee drink?
Beans.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Beans and it was grounded and then the beans. I think you guys tried it, Antonio. Those little bags of coffee. I don't even know if they were good. We use a Keurig for everything. I don't even know. I just bought them to help the people.
Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna try to put it in the K cup. You know what I mean? But I don't even know where the coffee is. But
yeah, it's little things like that, man, that have a lasting impression on people. Like just little details that you do. It really makes a big difference.
I believe so. It'll separate you, and it creates the momentum for your team. Like your future hires, and not only that is for you guys, because once you start implementing one thing and another thing, and you're like, how can we make this better? How can we make that better? Because if you don't start with something, you'll never move on to that next thing.
Yeah.
And then for you guys is then you have to still knock it out. You have to execute the whatever it is, right? Like so, you came up with the cup, right? So did you guys come up with putting the design on both sides? Was that your idea or their idea? Like say this cup.
That was ours. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you say, okay, well, what do we do to the next one? Right. And then how do we make this better? And I like this. This is a nice cup.
Yeah. Everything communicates, man.
Yeah. This is good. The straw fits in it. Right. And it's got a top. You could sip from it too, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Small sipper. Dude, this is nice. And it's like a measuring.
Yep.
So do you guys use these lines or no? What do they do?
Depending on the drink. So like the top line is for the milk. Depending if it's like a tea, we'll do like half, 1/3 of lemonade, 1/3 of tea, and then the rest is ice. So it's instead of measuring it like, a container or something, a portion.
Yeah.
We'll just use the lines, and we already have it measured.
Can they hear this? They can hear this.
Yeah.
Huh? Let me see.
ASMR.
That's cool. On this cup, did you guys create the lines, or the cup came with the lines?
No, we told them like we want 4 ounces a line on top of the 4 ounces.
Oh, because that's what you needed, though. Exact ounces. Yeah, I like that. Do other places do that?
I think Starbucks might have it as well. I think they copied us though.
I'm pretty sure they copied you guys, dude. Right?
So you gotta learn your competition, man. I'm always trying to learn from Starbucks, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A. What are they doing different? How can we have a friend of mine who's a manager at Chick-fil-A. I'm always picking at his brain, like, hey, what are you guys doing? How are you guys taking care of this, or stuff like that?
Dude, I get like, it really irritates me when people say, I'm not going to copy them. Really? Go ahead and keep doing it bad. I don't care. Like, come on.
If they already went through all that struggle to learn that,
copy them.
Just make it better yourself. And like, how does it?
Like you said, is like so Starbucks does this, but they don't have the top, right?
Yeah.
So you copied them here, but not here.
Right.
You made it better. It made it yours.
Yeah, there's it's like a documentary called Everything is a Remix.
Yeah.
And it's about music, but it also talks about, in life, everything. Like, hip hop came from like a mixture of other, genres, and nothing's new. Like everything's been a remix or copy or like trying to make it your way.
So like these water bottles, right?
Yeah.
These water bottles. So we did a job for Niagara, the bottling company. They bottle here for a lot of people. Sam's Club, everybody. Any generic water, almost everybody, they bottle. They created the patent for this top. Same bottle, right? Different top. They changed the whole thing.
There's a new one now. Have you seen the new one?
No.
It's like the same thing, but it's like a flip on.
Yeah. No, I seen it.
Yeah.
But what this one, the reason why they created it smaller.
That's plastic or what?
No, because they can it's the size of 2 caps. The 2 caps are this tall. So now they got 2 caps out of 1 cap. But then they go and say, hey, we created a new bottle. They took it's like that, like you're saying is
just one little change.
I was telling Gigi that, because she was talking about the class. I was like, Gigi, you don't have to create something from thin air.
Yeah.
All you have to do is take something and make it better.
And that's what Colados came about. We went to Paris. We tried to crepe for the first time. We came back with my parents' last year job, and we had just tried crepes. We're like, what can we do with this? So we brought something from Europe. We added the Hispanic taste. So now we have those two together, and it's something new that you can't find now they're creating some more, but you can't find it anywhere else with those tastes. All the crepes we've had on the menu, they've been created. We have a Chipotle crepe. We have a chorizo crepe. And people are like, what the heck? Like, where did this come from? It's just an infusion of ideas, and all we did is just modify one thing.
You could have brought us food, bro.
I know, huh?
Can't believe this.
You should have told me about your coffee, man.
I didn't even know.
I thought you were just doing liquids.
Oh, yeah, you got me. You got me. Yeah, I'm going to try it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
What other crepes you got?
Oh, man, we just checked this out. My parents were, insisting we had a machaca crepe. You know machaca?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're like, me and my sister were like, no, that's like too wild. Like, that's too much over here. And
what do you mean it's too wild?
It's just like too Mexican, Like for us, it was like, all right, that's too.
Hold on, you guys are Mexican, though.
I know, but
you guys aren't Italian, bro.
I know, we want to keep the menu like simple.
Yeah, because it's more products.
Yeah, so we're like, wow, we'll just try it out. We gave up, and man, it is delicious. It's been a hit, so it's really good.
So those are the sweet crepes. Let's go to savory. Go down to savory.
So chorizo, chipotle, morning.
So so the crepe is what is the it's like a batter, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a pancake batter, but when it's savory, we don't put any vanilla.
So
or
are you putting a filler in it?
Yeah, so usually they'll have cheese for sure, and then we'll add like a protein, like Chipotle has spinach and ham.
So the chorizo one.
The chorizo, yeah.
Is there chorizo inside of it or on top of it?
There's chorizo inside. We make our chorizo in store.
Really?
Fresh. And we make our egg as well. It's like a patty we cook it in, and then we add Mexican cheese, and then we have like our signature sauce or drizzle that we make as well.
Yeah.
So all these we made from scratch, man. Like all these recipes, we come together as family. We're like, all right, what are we missing?
Keep scrolling up. I want to see the other ones down low. Right.
Morning crepe.
Slow down. Go up real quick. So we got morning crepe.
Yeah. Balsamic.
I like balsamic vinaigrette. BLT crepe.
Yeah.
And then you got some salads.
We have one salad. It's like a sweet and savory. It has strawberries in there, but it's delicious, man. You got to try that one.
Yeah. And then you got your coffees.
Yeah, we do iced coffee, and then...
Which coffee am I drinking?
You're doing the white toffee.
It's called white toffee?
Yeah, so that's our signature one. We have it like in the bottom. It's our signature drinks.
It's really good.
It's our blended coffees, matcha, teas.
Oh, you guys got a lot of flavors.
Hot coffee. And those are our classics. So that white toffee right there.
Oh, yeah.
We have the island. Our coconut matcha is delicious.
Felicity likes matcha.
Oh, has she tried our matcha?
No, we haven't tried nothing there. You never invited us, bro.
Come on, man. Our doors are open.
You never invited us.
Let's go right now after this.
She loves matcha.
Our matcha is phenomenal, man.
Lena too, my daughter. Lena loves matcha. They love matcha. All my kids love matcha.
We do matcha with coconut. We can do it with pumpkin, strawberry, or you can add like foam on top. But even just regular like that, it's delicious.
Crepes are good, dude. The first time I tried crepes, I never been to Europe, but here locally, I was like, man, these are good because they're real thin.
Yeah, it's like a thin pancake.
Yeah, it's real
on a
thin.
diet.
And then you can put food in it. You can do whatever you want to the crepe. Like you said, make it sweet, make it savory.
You can replace it with a tortilla.
People always think crepes are sweet, but I like savory crepes.
Yeah,
because I like the food. Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, you can do both.
Yeah, right.
Sweet and savory.
Have a savory one and dessert with the
we don't judge.
Yeah, right. So, all right. So we went through a lot of things, right? So, a couple questions for you. You're growing. You're learning. You know, you're gonna. You know, I think eventually you'll be with the company. You guys will grow it, and you'll take over. You and your sisters, partners, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know how that looks for your family, but I like that. So, if three most influential people in your life.
For sure, my dad, number one. Other than that, can't think of anything, man.
All right, we'll skip that one.
Yeah, we'll skip that one. I feel like my dad has just been...
Yeah, he's a rock star, right?
Rock star for sure.
Dude, anyone who brings you coffee in the morning and you're not the wife, that's a killer, bro.
And he don't stop there yet, man. Like, he'll go to Rocky Point, he'll bring me shrimp.
Oh, I love shrimp, though.
Bomb shrimp.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. He's still, like, doing stuff like that. I don't ask for it. He just does it.
Yeah. Well, he's a giver.
Yeah.
Right, he's a giver.
For
so
sure.
You're still part of... You go to church still?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what church are you going to?
I'm going to CCV right now.
CCV? Which one? By my
Avondale.
house? Oh, Avondale? Oh, off the freeway?
Yeah. I live off the 303.
Oh, you live way out there, too? Oh, you guys live way out there.
Yeah.
Why does everybody live way out there?
Well, I grew up in Avondale.
Okay.
So that was just like a little further down.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Did you get your house? You got your house out there?
Mm-hmm.
Are you renting or buying? Or you buying?
We bought.
Okay. All right. That's cool. So you're going to church. You're going to CCV.
Yeah.
That's good. Are you drumming or not?
Mm-hmm.
You are drumming? I like that. You're a really good drummer, bro.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are you for hire?
Right now I'm serving there. I just wanted to give. I was about to give it up, honestly, and I was like, I had been drumming since I was 3. I got my first drum set and played at church since I was 7. I was in school, played drumline, did college a little bit, and after our church shut down, I was like, well, maybe it's time to take a break, because I was Hispanic churches, you play every Sunday, you can't miss one.
Yeah.
So like I need a little break, and I was about to stop. I was like, well, I got a lot of stuff going on. Just got married. I need to take a little break. And then my mom was like, no, you got to keep going. This is what we were made for. And I just reapplied again, and I'm playing with the high schoolers at CCV.
That's cool. Yeah, it's fun, right? It's
yeah, man.
It's well, you can teach them, and then you gotta. It's like a hobby, a passion.
Oh, it's therapy, man, for sure. I always say if I had like 5 minutes to live and you had one more thing to do, I'd go play drums, because it's just you just let it all out.
Just pound those things.
Yeah.
The toms.
Let all the anger out.
Dude, that second tom is always kind of loud for some reason. Why? Is that just what?
Gotta turn it down.
I'm just joking. No, it's the same way. Like I tell people all the time at church, because they don't know what they want to do, or they don't want to volunteer at a church, any church, right? And I'm like, it's only a few hours of your time a week. It's not like you're giving up 40 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We waste more time on the couch.
Yeah.
So it's like 2, 3, 4 hours a week to help, to help other people like praise and worship, you're ushering in the word, right? You're setting a precedence.
I think it's like the fear commitment, just like, all right, now I have to be there every Sunday. And I think people have a bad idea or past idea or trauma, whatever you want to call it, from the past, where it's like, sometimes, Hispanic churches can be a little, just trying to take you over and like, all right, you can do it for God, and now you got to do it every Sunday. But I think if you do it the right way and you do it, with the right intention, you'll want to be looking forward to it. So I think it's just that perspective that people have. I
don't think it's necessarily Hispanic churches. I think it's, I don't want to say all churches, but I think it's the smaller churches. And the only reason why is because there's only so many people to go through the doors. And so they need that.
Right.
So like a big, like a CCV, they have however 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 people, whatever members, right? They don't need to be like, I need you here all the time because there's 2,000 people in line.
Right.
The small church, there's 50 people in the building.
Right.
There's 10 people that work and like no people in line. So they're like, they need that.
Right.
They like, you know, so it's the
hard.
pressure.
Yeah, man. That's why I grew up in a small church.
Yeah.
And it was like pretty much it, man. It was there every Sunday, but it's like knowing that balance, because it was like the less I did, the worse I was. You know, I was youth pastor, worship leader, creative director, and, you know, all at once. And I was at church almost every day.
Yeah.
So like 2 years ago. So it's just knowing that balance and being, I don't know, strategic in a way that you can grow and see like, how can we get people in, you know, how can we get more people to serve? How can we get people, you know, inside the door and grow, you know, and I feel like that's the key, you know, if you can grow and make it so people want to come to you, like make it attractive in a way, then you won't have that situation. But it's hard, man. I know growing up at church, it's a lot of little things that are going on that you got to think about. But
you grew up in church. Yeah.
I was born in the pulpit, man.
In the pulpit. The same church? You went to the same church for how many years?
20 years.
And then it closed down.
Yep.
How'd that feel?
It was kind of scary at first.
Like why?
Just used to, like, you know, you build your routine. You're like, all right, your car just already knows where you're going. And, you know, out of nowhere, like, it just cuts you off. But I think it was a refresher in my spirit, just trying to, you know, after you get into that routine and you're just doing it just because you have to, instead of doing it because you want to.
Yeah.
So it really opened up my mind and to see God in a different way and not just look at it like as a job. Like, all right, I have to go to church now.
Yeah. Yeah, because it probably, I mean, I would just guess it probably became like mundane to where like you almost stopped liking it.
Yeah.
Did your wife grow up in the same church?
Yeah. She was serving with the kids and, you know, with school and everything, starting to work, she had to take a break.
Yeah.
But it was a lot as well. So
yeah. I tell people, especially at our church, it's the only church I really know. I mean, I've went to other churches, but if they want to help, I really try to steer them to not help so much. Because I think what happens, especially with new Christians or new people in a church, they're like, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then next thing you know, they disappear and they're gone. They kind of like did it to themselves, not knowing.
Right.
And then you like, if you said, hey, Chris, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do that. I'm like, cool. And I don't even think about it. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I don't even know it bothers you. You know what I mean? So like people will tell me when they want to help, you know, like let's pick one thing. Let's just start with this.
Yeah.
Don't go and like try to jump into these three things.
It's that burnout. You know, you just do it so much that it's just like, all right, I need a break.
Yeah, and then I don't even know, like, yeah, I don't know if we would call it burnout, but yeah, it's. I think what happens is there becomes an expectation, right? And then so what happens is like you say, hey, I've been doing all this, and they don't even care. You don't even know if they care. Yeah. But you chose to do it all. Yeah. And they're just rolling about the day because you made the choice. Right. Right. So it's like I tell people like, hey, just, you know, serve.
Take it easy.
Yeah, but take it easy. Like, you know, if you want to go and work in a parking lot or work at the door or usher or whatever it is, just take it easy and roll into it. Like, ease into it, because some people just go, whoa, and then boom, they hit a wall. Yeah. And then these feelings start coming and no one cares. You know, and it's like, well, everyone cares. No one knows what's going on. You know what I mean? So we have to communicate, like you said, with your husband or your husband and wife, you and your wife. It's like the communication. I think the same thing in the church is there has to be a level of communication. Now, I think also like the leaders in any church should communicate to the people that are volunteering or working, like, hey, you know, let's take it easy. Let's do this and do that. But again, in the smaller church, it becomes like where you're needed. You know what I mean? And it's like, I need you to come. There's no one else, you know. Yeah. We have 3 kids and we need 2 teachers. Just kidding.
Yeah, I think a lot goes down to like knowing your people and like knowing how you receive appreciation. You know, you might be a words of affirmation, you might be a gift. So I think it really goes down to like learning, especially at a small church, you have that, you know, blessing of like knowing people because, you know, you see them a lot. So it goes down to like really getting to know those one-on-ones, like, hey, how do you receive appreciation? How do you see love? Like receive
5 love languages. Yep. It works everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere.
What's your language?
I'm a words of affirmation.
Okay. You want to be told you're doing something good?
Yeah. Give me a compliment and I'll.
Me too.
Last me like 2 weeks.
The problem with us is we're looking for the compliment.
Yeah.
That's the downfall. And some people like gifts. Like Felicity likes gifts.
Yeah.
She likes a lot of things, but yes, and yeah, some people like. It's just weird, and everyone has different personalities, and you don't. And what's crazy is like you think you know their personality, like say a friend or a coworker or someone at church or whatever, and then until like if they blow up because like you said some type of burnout or miscommunication, then you really learn the language real quick.
A little too late.
You're like, you didn't give me lunch. Dang, shoot, dude! I was telling you, doing a good job. I don't care. I wanted something. You know what I mean? I wanted a gift or whatever. You see that?
Yeah. Same thing with my wife. She's acts of service, and I always, when we started dating, like gave her a whole bunch of like fancy stuff, and she'd be like, "All right, cool," and I'd be like, she wouldn't get impressed. And one day she was doing her homework, and I just sat next to her, and she was just like the happiest person ever. Like, that's when it clicked. I was like, all right, she just wants me to be with her and spend time with her and like do stuff with her, like, you know, clean the yard or something at her parents, like, you know, back then. So I realized that now I don't give her as much stuff.
You all started saving money.
Yeah. Know who she is, and you'll save. Hopefully she's not a gift.
Yeah, because like you said, is imagine like young people dating or just getting married. They're buying all these things, trying to buy like someone's love, not like directly, but and it's not even even doing nothing.
You're wasting it.
Wasting money. Stop wasting money. Read the book, 5 Love Languages.
Another one is the Enneagram. Have you done the Enneagram? What did you come out of?
Hold on, say what they are again.
It's like
I have done it, but I got
like a number.
Yeah, it's a number thing.
It's like an achiever, a perfectionist, a challenger, a peacemaker. I don't know if I said giver.
I like 13 keeps showing in my mind, but I don't know if that's that one.
I think it goes up to 9.
Maybe it's a 9 then.
I think it's a peacemaker.
No, definitely not a peacemaker.
A challenger.
Like perfectionist. Achiever, I forgot what it was. We have done these.
We always do this for like the leadership because it's always good to know. Like we had one of the girls she was about to quit. She was like, I'm just bored. There's nothing else here for me. And then we took that test like a week later, and she was a challenger. And we're like, well, what if you become a manager at this store?
Yeah.
And she's been killing it.
Because now she has more she can do.
Yeah, the challenge. So I feel like getting to know your team. Yeah. You'll be able to work and communicate better with them. So
maybe I'll do that. We have done them though, but I just don't remember what it is. But it's mostly like the perfectionist.
Yeah, the personality. I mean, it's not good to base your whole life on, but at least to get an idea of how they communicate.
You are. Yeah. And you know how to handle the person. Like they want like for me, like I kind of want it done right in how I say so, like you know. So it's like, okay, just do that. Like you know what to do.
Yeah.
If I ask for it to be put on the left side, just put it on the left side. Yeah. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? Don't challenge me. Put it on the right side.
So you are a challenger.
We have done them, but I don't remember the scores.
Yeah. No, we always try to do it with new hires or new leaders.
Yeah.
And it puts you kind of the perspective of like, all right, this person, if it's a challenger, you can't bore them. Or like, some people will love just, you know, like if you're a giver or I don't know what the other one was.
I think I'm going to do it again for here.
Yeah, it would be
We've
great.
done it at church too.
No, it's good.
There's another one too. What's the other?
Yeah, I don't remember the other one.
Maybe that's the higher number one. Because we've done them. There's like 2 different styles. Yeah. We've done them both.
There's a couple. Yeah. But that one's worked. Well, I got that one from Chick-fil-A actually. Yeah. The manager there, he does it with his team, and they had the same situation.
So speaking of Chick-fil-A, they're closed on Sunday. I was wanting to talk about this. Colados is closed on Sunday. And Kanye sang about it. Yeah. Was he singing about your guys' place?
Yeah, I think so.
Closed on Sunday?
Yeah. Colados.
Why are you guys closed on Sunday?
Family, man. Go back to family. Since day one, we've closed just to rest. My dad's like, well, we can always have employees on Sundays, but we still have to be thinking about it. If they need something, we have to go. But it's culture as well. You know, they can rest. And everybody's like, well, that's the busiest day for a restaurant. Like, well, yeah, well, maybe it is, but we get busier on Mondays because of that. We get busier on Saturdays because people know we're going to close. And it just makes you a little more exclusive, you can say. So
yeah, they're closed on Sunday, so we can't go. Let's go on Saturday.
That's when you crave it the most, on Sunday.
Yeah, I like it. But I think like when we started the company, and I don't know how many times, but we would not work on Sunday. I would say a handful of times out of the 15 years we've been in business, or whatever it is, since 2009, that I've worked on a Sunday. And that's a lot of, that's say 52 Sundays times 15, You know what I mean? Like 600 or something, whatever it is, Sundays. And maybe less than 10 times, probably less than 5 times we worked on a Sunday, and it was like an emergency thing. I'm like, man, you guys are gonna have to pay now, because I don't like working on Sunday, and not because of me, because of the guys, because our team, the guys and the men and women, and because I want them to be able to go to church. If they go to church, I want to go to church. Like you said, I want to relax. When I go to church, I don't want to have to freaking deal about a call or something. You know, I just want.
Yeah, and they say like, why don't you close on Monday? Well, like, well, Sunday's the day that most people are off, so it's the time you spend with your family. You know, you have a good time, you rest, and you come more energized.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. I think it's a really good move.
We're gonna start closing Saturdays too.
Yeah, right.
Start closing every day. At the end of the day, I mean, you educate your guests too. You know, people are like, open up earlier, close later. You know, I've gone to places where they open for like 3 hours, and it's a long line because, you know, people already know, or, you know, it's just educating people as well.
Yeah, or they're like the menu, that's it for that day. Like you said, and you like
you don't have a choice.
Some of the barbecue joints and stuff, like you go there and you get in line at 11 or 10, whatever it is, and they're sold out by 1 and you're done. And they close at 5, but they usually close right after the food's gone.
Yeah.
Like you said, you educate the guest or the
customer.
The customer.
Yeah,
I think it's good.
And I feel like sometimes people like it the most, you know, when you have to like work for it a little bit. You know, there's like, we went to a place in California, and it was like an hour wait for some tacos.
Were they good?
We're bomb, man. It was worth the wait.
Like street tacos? What kind of tacos?
Street tacos. But it was like I don't want to say gourmet. Like, he added some spices to the meat, and it was just like delicious, man.
What's the name of the place? Do you remember?
Something with the V. I'll have to tell you later. I have to look it up. But they had just opened like 3-4 months ago, and they already had like a Michelin guide.
Oh, really? They're that good?
They were bomb.
Wow.
But it was an hour wait in the line. But you go in there with more hunger, and you're like, now I want to, like, if you would have been like easy, you'd be like, whatever.
And it becomes an experience almost, because you're like, oh, this is so good. Then you're talking, do you taste that? Do you taste this?
Via Tacos. That's what it was.
Via Tacos?
Yeah, I think so.
Jose Villa? Was he the owner?
No. It was a young guy, and the dad was out there, like, we were in line, and he was out there giving waters, and like, it was a whole family thing, but it was delicious.
Oh, that's amazing. Dude.
But we had to work for it. So sometimes when it's too easy, like, people don't enjoy it.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
There has to be a little bit of effort.
Because now you waited. Now you want to, like, slow it down, enjoy it.
Well,
what is this really
it's
about?
like the pancake mix. I don't know if you know the story about pancake mix.
Tell it.
People weren't selling it. You know, it was just like too easy. But
what do you mean?
Like
recently or a long time ago?
A long time ago when they really came out, and they took out the egg, so you can add it. So now people were feeling like they created the pancake. It wasn't like just the batter or whatever, and you just add milk or whatever.
Yeah.
So they added one ingredient, just add egg, and people loved it because it was just like an experience. Like, hey, I made this pancake from scratch.
Yeah.
And all it did was just add egg, but it was just like that little bit of effort and made it a little bit better. So that's why people go to like those small shops where it's like a long line, because they want to be able to experience that, you know.
I think so. I think you're right. I think you savor the moment, you enjoy it, you
you invest in it.
Yeah, and then you talk about, like, because if you go in fast, you're leaving fast.
Yeah.
I don't care how good it is.
Yeah.
But like you said, every time we went and waited, we're like tasting the food.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, if this drink, oh my God, hold on, let me taste that. You taste that? You taste that? What ingredients are those?
Yeah.
And now you're taking your time, and then you're talking to the waiters and waitresses, and you want to meet the owner. And yeah, if it's just a fast joint, you know, if you're like that.
In and out. And just quick.
It's just what it is. You just get it and go. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, this is cool. It's, you know, it's the normal.
Yeah.
Right? So.
That's how it is.
So Colados, you're going to go up to 3 hours a day now?
Yep. To sell out.
Sell out. Guys, we only have 3 cups of coffee.
Yeah. First come, first serve.
No. You guys are doing good, man.
Thank you.
All right. So like for you, the next steps are growing the company, managing the company, taking over from, you know, your parents, retiring them. And then does your wife join, or does she still do nursing?
She's doing nursing.
So, and then you build your life. What's like some passion things you want to do?
Like at work, or what do you mean?
And in life.
In life. I mean, I feel like I'm doing my passion right now. Like in high school, I remember like I had my own little studio. I used to like have some beats, had people over and just rap over them. And then I had like a clothing line in high school. I used to make my own shirts.
Okay. You still have the presses?
No, I sold them out. It was a lot of work, up to like 3 a.m. making shirts for people and like creating my own clothing line. But now I get to have that freedom of doing that at Colados.
Yeah.
We have music, we have, shirts that we do, merch, mugs. We just did some Hispanic heritage mugs from Mexico, and that was a challenge to get. So little stuff like that, I feel like I get to live out my passion at work. So that's why.
Now,
I'm
like
there.
the music, is it Mexican, Spanish music, or American music, or both?
Both. We throw a little bit of here and there.
You throw Christian stuff in there too, or just kind of normal?
No, just normal.
Yeah, for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel like you should have a purpose in life? Like I was asked one time, Chris, what's the purpose of everything? Like, as I'm working and growing a business and all these things we're doing, is what's the purpose, And do you feel like do you think about, besides your passion, do you think about the purpose, in life? Like, there's always a reason for everything.
Right.
Do you think about that stuff?
Yeah, I believe it. I think everything comes down to why you were created, and I think I have a purpose, and yours, I feel like we all do it in a different way, but we end up coming to the same thing, and it's to serve one another, love one another. And I do it different from everybody else. I got gifts that God gave me, and the best thing I can do is just give it to somebody else, give it away, help somebody else with it. So if we have that servant, mentality, your ego is not your amigo, right?
You read that walking in?
Yeah. So I feel like that's what stops us from having our purpose.
Yeah.
Trying to just think about myself.
Giving. Sowing seeds. I talk about it all the time. Sowing seeds. It's huge. And like, given, it shall be given.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple. That's part of the purpose of everybody. Like, if we just gave more, and man, how many people do you think would have better lives if they just stop being super greedy?
Yeah.
Or angry all the time, or because your anger, like those emotions and feelings, stop you, right? They put up those walls. But
it comes down to giving what God gave you, just passing it down.
Yeah. Okay. So you said, do you have any questions for me? Because I think you said you were gonna grill me.
Yeah. Well, we got time. I got a couple questions.
Ask me the questions.
What's been the greatest lesson you've learned in those past 15 years of starting your business?
The greatest lesson? Well, there's a lot of lessons, man, because I've been up and down.
Greatest, though.
The greatest.
Number one thing that you just learned through this whole process.
Man, there's a lot. There's a lot. So I'd say a big one, which people always talk about, but they don't use it, is, you're not going to be me. I can't expect you to be me. I can't expect you to do the same things I do, because I think sometimes we put things on people with the expectation that if I can do it, they should be able to do it.
Yeah.
And so learning about, it goes back to the personalities. Learning the personality of the person can dictate the expectation you put on them.
Right.
And so that's a big thing I've learned and gotten better at learning, because it's hard to do that. It's super hard to do that. That's a big one, but like in business here, audit yourself, audit your personal life, your personal finances, audit your business finances, and keep auditing yourself. Like when we think of the word audit, we think of taxes, right? And so when someone audits your taxes, they go through and check everything and see what's wrong and what's right.
Yeah.
And I think we should do more of that. And that's a lesson that I've learned, is because we'll do it and sometimes we'll miss something. That's where the audit comes in. You know what I mean?
Being self-aware type.
Yeah. So like if you guys have a system at Colados or in your house or whatever, is can you audit that? Is you're checking every part of it, because you can write it all down. And we do, you do, everybody does. But if you don't audit it and check it, it's useless, because you think someone's doing it right. It's written,
Yeah.
right? And then what happens is and then audit yourself more often than not. So like a lot of small businesses, do you get involved in the taxes? Somebody keeps calling. All kinds of people keep calling me. Do you get involved in the taxes at all over there?
I don't.
Okay, so in taxes is the taxes are done yearly, right? And so for a business, if they don't keep track of their books properly until like that year, then you don't know what's actually happening for the whole year. You really don't know.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why you consistently should audit yourself. The same thing with money, right? If we keep spending money and you don't check your finances and you're like, hey, babe, we spent this much and we're spending too much here and spending too much. Well, where did we spend it at? How did we spend it?
Yeah.
What did we do? You know, and then auditing yourself is like, hey, I overreacted here. How do I fix that? And that's hard to do. Fixing your personal life is probably the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
You can fix everything else, but fixing personal life is the hardest. But I think like those things like with those two things, I would put them into one.
Yeah.
But those are huge.
Yeah. How were you able to scale your business to what it is now?
So I think over time, you know, like your dad did. I remember when, you know, a couple of years ago, the people were making statements of, man, they grew up overnight. And I was already in business 12 years. But like, we didn't freaking...
It was a long night.
You know what I mean? I think like scaling. So one is a big thing for us is, you know, we put God first. Like put God, if you want to scale your business, put God in charge of your business. That's the bottom line, right? Give more. So we give a lot, you know what I mean? And then, so God, that's the God part, right? And then ourselves is, okay, what can we do right? Again, audit yourself, check yourself, take it easy. Because I think sometimes what happens is, and your dad probably told you this too, is when you grow too fast, there's things that happen that are unseen. You think you got it together, right? You see it all the time. A lot of people do it. They franchise, they're gone because they're missing. All it takes is one thing missing and think about Jenga, right? You got like 100 blocks, right? And you're stacking them. Well, what happens when that bottom one gets taken out?
All falls down.
It's crumbling, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just one little piece.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And so, but if you stack them nice and neat and you stack the wins and you learn from the wins and you learn from the losses, you know, and learning, I think the key like on the success is if you can learn from your wins, that's more important than learning from your losses. People don't learn from their wins. And you know why? Because it's expected. A win is expected. So you just keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But if you can learn from the win and say, okay, how did I win? Where did I win?
Yeah.
How did I beat this person or this thing or whatever? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
You know, so if we can learn from the wins, that'll help you get ahead of the losses.
Yeah.
Because if you like, if you know, just say a fighter, right? And he wins, right? And he won like what, an overhand or whatever, jab or uppercut, right? Well, okay, that's a good uppercut. That's how I won that fight. Yeah. So do I practice that uppercut? So that's one tool. But then the next fight is, how do I win that fight? Well, this guy fights this way, so I have to come over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if we can learn from our wins, that'll prepare us for our losses. The problem is we wait for the loss and then say, well, learn from your losses. Well, yeah, you should learn from your losses. But if you can stay ahead of those, then it minimizes the loss.
Yeah. You won't have to lose.
Well, we'll always take losses, but it'll be less impactful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're braced. You know what I mean? So you know, like, say like a fight. I go back to fighting because I watch fighting.
Yeah.
Is so say it can be this be anything. You win, you dominate, right? Well, if you're learning how to win, then you're gonna dominate. At least when you lose, it won't be so bad. But if you don't prepare to win, then when you lose, you'll get your butt whooped, and it'll be like a catastrophe. Like, you know, like this person's like looks like they're about to die. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's key.
That's good. No, because I walked in here, man. It was great. It was a great office. Everything looks professional. Like everything looks organized. So like, man, this looks like you're doing a great job.
Well, that's like, so taking it back because you're interviewing me now. No. Well,
Part two.
So when we started the business, Felicity and I, obviously I had a background, but I wanted to do everything with excellence. So our slogan is taking excellence to the extreme. And I said, everything we do, whether we're just learning and we're way behind, not enough money, we're gonna do it with excellence. I'm gonna buy the best stuff. I'm gonna buy stuff that we will need, that we'll grow into. I'm gonna go above and beyond. And so everything I'm gonna do is gonna be the next level stuff, not where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we've had to take step backs and look at ourselves and slow it down and stuff like that. But even like you said, you walked in here, go walk in another drywall company shop. Unless they're massive,
they won't have drywall on their walls.
Unless they're massive, they're not going to be like a 2-story building. Yeah. And I own the building.
Wow.
So like, so we want to do everything with an approach of, okay, we want to be professional. We want to take it to the next level. Everything we do with excellence. And then so that way, anyone who walks in the door, they know what we're about.
Yeah. And I think that's the big difference that kind of differentiates like a small business to like a great one. It's taking those steps. Like you said, we do things before we're even there. And I feel like a lot of people wait to make those changes. All right, well, we'll invest more in our, team once we have this and this. But you got to do it now so it gets to that level. So I think that's a lot of things that a lot of small businesses, that mindset that they're like, nah, we're not there yet. But it's like, you got to start now so you can.
That's exactly right. And that's what we did is we started early on. Like I started buying different, the best equipment, the best tools, when we got, started buying like good computers and, instead of just rinky-dink things and all these,
And that's how you attract great people too, to come work here. Like, how am I going to work there if they're not even like at that stage or they're not prepared for it?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, and then you create the systems, for us, like here in the warehouse, we create a tracking system. So all of our fasteners, which are screws, all of our materials that stay in the warehouse, they're all on a barcode system. You know what I mean? So things like that is taking it to the next level.
Yeah, little things.
So when we buy stuff from vendors, they come in and see that. And they're like, oh, shoot, I want to sell these guys. They're keeping track of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good.
So that's the deal,
man.
That's the deal.
Good stuff.
So taking excellence to the extreme.
Yeah, I like that.
So I appreciate it. I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you.
This has been a good talk because I get to learn from younger guys like yourself, next generation. I'm super proud of you. You're working with your family. You're growing. You're building your own family. And hopefully you can come drum with us again.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, man.
But it's been an honor and a pleasure, and thank you for coming, bro.
Thank you for having me, man. It's great.
Be blessed, guys.